Welcome, welcome, welcome to those of you that are just joining us. I am Steidel24, and this is my good friend Hamwell, and we are going to be bringing you the next match of the ELO Hell GGNA. We are in week 3, round 5 right now, and we are bringing you the advanced division with Team No Name at 3-1, facing off against Nano at 3-1. Now, Ham, we did just get to see the beginner division, and beginner to advanced, there's a very large leap. So for those that kind of stuck around from our beginner division, what kind of things can we prepare to see from these more advanced teams, composition strategies, and players?
Well, I'd have to imagine we're just going to see a lot more kind of call it what you will, but call it polish, for example. We're just going to see more polished plays coming out from this advanced division. You're going to see more definitive resets in between fights, probably a lot less of the kind of war of attrition style that we saw earlier in the cast. So that's something I think we can look forward to. I know as casters, I definitely look forward to it because having those cutoffs, it really makes kind of getting the flow and the cadence down a little easier. So I'll be appreciative of that. I'm sure you will too. I
It's
mean,
kind of like riding a bicycle. The slower you go, the more difficult it can be. But as you pick up speed and get cruising, the faster you go, you're able to kind of stabilize. I do agree, but I always enjoy casting the lower echelon of play. That's where I got my start casting, gold games on PlayStation. So it has a place in my heart. And
oh,
it's
absolutely.
also fun to see those guys, go up and up more and more, and then like pop up next year in a different or next season in a better division.
Mhm. That's something I'm definitely looking forward to. With it being my first season of casting GitGud and still being very new with Elo Hell in general. I'm looking forward, especially that beginners match we just watched. I'm waiting to see who are we going to see in advance, who are we going to see moving on up, and that goes for all the divisions as we get up to the highest tiers of play. I want to see development and I think that's something that we should be able to showcase too, which will be really cool. I look forward to seeing it. It's just something that's going to be a lot of fun, I feel like.
Well, definitely something that you're going to get the chance to see here on our first map, Oasis. And
Oh.
this is one of my. I've never known how I felt about Oasis. There are some days where I get it and I'm like, oh yay, whoopee, and then other times I get it and it's just like me throwing a controller like like screaming because there's nothing I can do to win the map. What kind of competition do we expect to see on this map?
Yeah, it's one of those maps where I think the vibe is everything, and team comp plays so much of as it does in all maps, but I really feel like it hits home extra hard, if you will, in Oasis, where the team comp really dictates the angles you're going to take, your positioning, and it leads to a lot of different styles that can come clashing, and it's interesting to see how those styles react to the kind of differing positionings. Like we're seeing here, you've got Ryan Zarya, which wants to play very aggressively. Ryan Sigma on the opposite end can play very aggressively. And then you've got a similar, it's a mirror everywhere else actually. So that Sigma versus that Zarya, that's really kind of like the X factor here in this initial fight.
And why the Sigma Ryan, not the Sigma Arissa?
Well, I think the Sigma Rhine comp, there is a lot of synergy there. It's maybe not as obvious the inherent synergy as the Rhine Zarya comp, but using that shield, being able to free Rhine up for swings, for poke, for fire strikes, just basically allowing him to have his offensive abilities while still providing that defensive stability. It definitely lends a lot. We see it here, prime example, using that second shield to shield off the Reinhardt that was walled off. I mean, ultimately Fordo will go down, but not before Noche and the gang have taken down 3 of their own.
And you talked briefly at the beginning there about the more decisive engagements and disengagements in the fight, and that's a beautiful example of it. But No Name gonna have to be figuring out some sort of solution to this composition. They haven't made any switches yet.
And I didn't imagine they would. You know, they've got some good ults coming online. You've stuck with the comp this far. You need to, you know, see if it's gonna have legs when the ultimates start coming out.
Oh, speaking of having legs, that Shatter not able to find anything from Fordo. He did it in fear of the Nano boosted Reinhardt in his face. It looks like it's also going to be a wasted Shatter for St. JJ as the block comes in from Fordo, but the charge is still there to secure the kill. Nano boosted Fordo in return is going to get slapped. Blizzard on the point, not going to do much. So No Name still having a little bit of difficulty in securing the point. You know, they found their initiation, but they couldn't secure it.
Yeah, they couldn't seal the deal, and in doing so, they've left themselves open to be losing in this ult battle. They do have both DPS ults coming online here in the near future, but you've got, you know, a Deadeye, Graviton Flux, as we just saw there. You've got the sound barrier locked and loaded if you're Nanomi. So I mean, you know, that's hard to come into as the attacking team.
Yeah. Not to mention that Nanomi has not only had a demanding control on the point, but as well as the kill feed. Deadeye there at the very end, just for good measure, making sure they
foregone conclusion at that point. Shoo. That was it, and the double coming in at the end. You love to see it, but I mean, very controlling first point. You know, definitely a statement point coming out from Nanomi. I mean, they did that with absolute authority. They Baja Blast and Fordo running that Ryan Sigma comp provided just like this huge sort of basis for everything to form around. You saw Meadle in the backline really completely uncontested on the Ana. She was doing a really great job of timing the nanos, providing the healing when it needs it. That's something that's got to be said about Ana players is the call it the reload sort of economy. You know, just understanding, you know, how to space out your reload so that you're always providing healing when it's needed. And Meadle doing a really good job of that there. Everyone stayed topped off, and that led to a lot of pretty decisively won fights. We do see some dive coming out from both sides, though. Definitely something I
old versus new. The old dive versus the new here, as far as compositions go, I think.
I agree.
Take that first kill onto Noche. Nameless as well, finding one for herself. That's 2 for No Name, as Nanomi going to be having a difficult time taking this point. It's going to be No Name this time, coming out with the first control. And that's, you know, flipping things on its head a little bit. That's what I like to see at the beginning of a match.
And it's always a surprise for me to say, but the Soldier, Noche, I thought did get some good value on the Soldier. Definitely not a hero you're seeing a lot of, but definitely something that Nanomi could play around because, you know, it really does, you know, if you hack Soldier, he's still got the ability to take you down relatively easily, especially if you're a very squishy target like a Sombra. Meanwhile, Milo on the other end, the projectile DPS, just cleaning up, getting all kinds of kills.
Getting flashbacks to season 5 and 6 where, you know, back in my console days, there was nothing you could do about the pharmacy in the sky. So thank you, Milo. Thank you, Ice, for that little bit of a flashback.
A little trip down memory lane, as it were.
Yeah, memory lane. But looking forward, No Name going to be having a lot of ultimates coming online. I see at least 4 Nanomi as well going to be able to match that. So big fight to come. But Nanomi having control, we saw No Name have a lot of difficulty with that initiation. Let's see if they're able to find it. As they're looking to the high ground, they're going to send the Nano boosted Winston in to get as much done as possible. But it looks like St. JJ going to have to pop that Primal Rage in the end to keep himself alive and out of trouble. But Taco going to take the kill onto Noche once again. Fire in the sky, getting mighty low as Nameless finds herself a kill, and No Name, now up on bodies and positioning, are looking good to retake this point.
Nameless, I mean, both sides, the Soldier play coming out from both sides is very strong. Nameless making that switch and just getting a ton of value. I mean, I'm not sure really what the answer for it is now. Soldier does have a little bit more shield break ability with the cooldown reduction to Helix Grenade. There's not a lot of shields out there. Baja Blast is kind of being forced to focus on the echo of an Nano. we'll figure it out. But
Hey, yeah.
you know, really just Baja Blast's attention is being forced elsewhere, and Nameless is just cleaning up from it.
Wow, the diving very strongly onto the brig there. Momo getting into a tricky situation, but it's Taco who's really writing the story to be told as he finds 3 there, or finds 2, helping out Nano at the very end on the kill onto Noche, and No Name has come back with a vengeance onto Nanomi, saying, you know, we gave you that first point 100%. We're not going to do that twice. We're actually going to let you know we're in this to win this.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely signs of life coming out from No Name. I mean, just good stuff. The switches have been strong. They look very comfortable on this dive lineup that they've got running.
Comfortable indeed, but it's hard to do so with the barrage coming at you like that, but dealt with it in stride. No Name able to find the kills through the fog here at the end. Taco now battling it out with a Moira. Meadle trying to stay alive for at least a little bit longer, but nobody to touch the point. So No Name able to find themselves 1 as we go 1-1. We've got ourselves back.
Absolutely, and No Name doing a really good job of controlling the tempo of the fight, controlling the positioning of the fight, and that really just led to no one being there for Nanomi to ultimately just to really do anything. I mean, that's really all you could say about it, is that the positioning was so superior coming out from No Name there that Nanomi just didn't have a prayer to get the contest there at the end.
Well, they're gonna have their chance here at our final point of Oasis. My least favorite point of Oasis.
I have to agree with you there.
I never got the groove on this map. It was one of the maps that eluded me. Let's see if that results the same for No Name and Nanomi.
Ooh, that's a big start.
Yeah, Milo and Fordo both finding very early kills, proving the lethality of the burst damage of this kind of dive composition.
Yeah, you can never discount a pharmacy combo. Milo and Ice really combining for a ton of value there. St. JJ trying to get in on the mix, but you know, that's a lost cause there at that point. I mean, so many picks coming in for Nanomi, and Noche on the Tracer. That you know, is kind of the unsung hero in what was just happening, because Tracer provides all this pressure on your backlines, on the flanks, really almost acting like a shepherd to a flock of sheep, you know, cattling them all up into this nice cozy area just so Milo can come in with the rockets and do the work.
Speaking of Milo coming in with the rockets, there you go, like a fortune teller.
I am the great fortune teller, Zoc. ZOC Hamwell, the fortune teller. But yeah, I mean, like I said, Noche, you know, cleaning up the kill onto Nameless there. You know, doing exactly what you need to do on Tracer. Doesn't need to, you know, say BOB it. Doesn't need to SBB carry, anything like that. Just does the job. Does what's required. And you know, at the moment, Milo's taking all the glory, but I don't think that's necessarily demonstrating who might be the better DPS of this team, per se.
Definitely, as we see the rest of the ultimates being used by Nanomi. Fordo finds 2 with the Primal Rage after the help from Noche's Pulse Bomb. That self-destruct will fall on deaf ears, but Nanomi definitely having the reins in this engagement. Going to be pushing No Name back. Now 70% and counting. Nanomi still has ultimates online, as well as ultimates to come.
That was really an impressive Primal Rage coming out from Fordo there. Obviously the double kill, big value there at the beginning, but the juggle on the brig, getting a ton of value, doesn't secure the kill, but just an excellent use of jump pack there to secure it, gets the jump landing. I mean, just overall a nice play. Big plays all around from Nanomi, good grief.
The DPS for Nanomi definitely shining bright at the moment. Fordo and Baja Blast as well in that front line on the tanks have been unrelenting, and of course to keep them alive, you know, their supports absolutely slaughtering in this matchup. Nanomi and No Name, if this first map is anything, we're gonna have a game on our hands tonight.
I agree. That was if it can be described as much closer than 2-1, I would definitely describe that map as much closer than 2-1. Both teams really demonstrating a lot of effectiveness, demonstrating what they're going to be trying to do this series, I'd say. Uh,
Nice and easy.
but ultimately, Nanomi just coming out on top. Stellar work from the DPS line of Noche and Milo. Ice, Meadle, Baja Blast, Fordo. I mean, you can talk about each of them. They each had big plays. They each contributed value to their team, and they ultimately come out on top for that one.
They come out on top, but they're going to have a lot of work to do. And so we will be right back with our next map, which I do believe is Rialto. Yep. We're going to be back with Rialto in just one moment. So sit tight, folks, and don't go anywhere. So we had to have a short break, break there because our minds broke. We both came to the realization that Nano Me and No Name are in fact anagrams of each other. Our producer happily destroyed our dreams, allowing us the knowledge of it as Team No Name, not just No Name. So, but we're not. We know the truth.
No, we're gonna ignore that. They're 100% anagrams of each other.
Yeah.
And wow, just yeah, that kind of sums it up. And yeah, it did. It's true. It broke our brains. So we've reset, we've rebooted everything, and now we're looking good and ready to bring you some primetime map 2 action here on Rialto.
Yeah, Rialto, one of in my opinion's all-time favorite maps. I think it's a lot of fun. It has versatility between the 3 different points, and as a support, I think as an autumn main, the courtyard is kind of this little playground for you to navigate, if you will. All those little or planters that you can hide behind, walls, corners, long sight lines that you get. I really do love it. So I really expect to see some high level Ana play from both Momo and Meadle.
Absolutely, and it does. It allows for some cheekiness and just Rialto in general. It's a fun map. I think back to some of my own personal times playing in tournaments such as these and just the like of that. And I've had some amazing fun, wins, losses, just hard fought all around on Rialto. I definitely would have to put it as my second favorite map. I'll always go with Kings Row as
Of
numero
course.
uno, but I would happily put Rialto as a top 2 pick for me. Just and again, there's so much you can do on this map. There's so much versatility. You can make dive work in certain areas. Lucio will always have viability, especially on that first point. There's so many environmental hazards, if you will, throughout this map that you get to see some Lucio play. You can see some great Nano play. Just I mean, the list goes on. So I love to see it. I'll always be happy to cast a match at Rialto. I'll tell you that much.
That indeedy. And what kind of compositions do you think we're going to be seeing here? Double shield for that courtyard, probably.
I would have to imagine so. I really enjoyed seeing that from I believe it was Fordo and Baja running the Rhine Sigma. I really enjoyed seeing that. Looks like we're seeing another variant of the double shield. We're seeing that Rhine Arisa. Definitely a ton of value on defense. Just a lot of good structure and, for lack of a better term, fortification that you
Now,
can
I
do.
will say, with the Reinhardt though, with the Orisa Rein versus the Orisa Sigma, Reinhardt doesn't have any ability to output damage while his shield is up.
No, it's very true.
Sigma can
It's
though.
and that's why, to me, I mean, I think we're seeing a lot more. You know, when you're not seeing the traditional double shield, you do see a bit of Ryan Sigma, and I think that's a big part of it. Is just that Sigma enables the Reinhardt, you know, a lot like Azaria would, while providing some other utility that ultimately kind of benefits the rest of the team.
Well, let's see if Milo is able to shine through once again on that Pharah, or if a Nano and Nameless are going to be able to shut that down.
It was also important to mention that Pharah is huge on this map as well. You have these nice opens, you know, skyboxes, these sight lines, these angles. I mean, and especially defensively, you can really pick and choose with your positioning where you're going to attack, and it lets you set up here. Even when No Name is setting up and taking this, you know, creative positioning, if you will, you know, the Pharah's just using all this time to maneuver, get around, and ultimately look for those picks.
Yeah, and on top of that, you get to give your team so much information, and you can see No Name struggling to get out of this high ground as the tanks drop. The rest of the team dropping slowly, but first to drop bodies is a Nano taking that pesky Pharah out of the sky. Ice looking for the res as the Orisa comes in to help out, but that TNT and Ashe in the back line is going to be able to take her out. The kills come through for No Name, and they're going to get a lot of real estate here. Possible contest from Nanomi?
I can see it happen, especially if
Oh! What just happened? Milo comes in for a bit of a heart attack moment, gets the surprise 2K, doesn't stop, but allows for the respawns. Shatter comes out, doesn't get any use as the window gets forced out for No Name. They have to use Little Lamp's amplification matrix.
You wanted to call it a lamp, didn't you?
I did.
I heard it. I wanted to do it too, but
I missed the opportunity earlier.
Takeo on the Sigma's been doing so much. You know, this fight all started rolling because of a nice rock throw up onto Milo on that part, and ultimately we've seen Milo switch over to the Hanzo now. I mean, you know, this has really just been a surprise coming out from No Name, looking much stronger.
Looking much stronger indeed. They've netted themselves 4 minutes and 15 seconds for what is, I want to say arguably, because it's in my rotation of vocabulary, but not arguably. What is the most difficult portion of Rialto is these next two quarters.
Absolutely. I mean, the stall potential from the defense is so just strong here. You can really do so much. You can take these different angles. You can choose to hold up on high ground. But you basically, you know, if you play it right, you've got 2-3 chances, even in losing a fight, to come back and contest. So it's a daunting task for any attack. It really helps to have that head of steam going. It also helps to duplicate a second Reinhardt.
Yeah. 2 Reinhardts on the field is nothing to scoff at. You get to press W practically for free, especially with Taco, as well as a Nano finding themselves all of these picks. Nanomi having a bit of a rough time digging their feet into the sand here. They really have not been able to put up a consistent defense.
No, it's true, and the aggressiveness that was there on Control seems to be almost a hindrance here on their defense. You know, just picks happening early, not quick enough on the reset, and it's really allowing a big ult disparity to begin to form between Nanomi and No Name.
And that is the kind of snowball you don't want to start.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, you look right here. You've got both support ults online. You know, that transcendence in a lot of situations can be a get out of jail free pass. It can also enable so much aggression. It can allow your Orisa to take space seemingly where they wouldn't be previously, and you know, this all just really bodes into the favor of Takeo and the gang and No Name.
Yeah, No Name once again able to secure a very quick team fight win there. You hear the gong go off, and they still have ultimates to boot. They will have their Transcendence for this final fight. They will have Bob. They're going to have this Gravitic Flux online. Bob going off into the corner, Dragons onto the point through the windows, but nobody on the point. The Dragons were on the point, but they had nobody on the point.
That was huge. That was just, weathering the storm. Great immortality field coming out there as well. Led to, being able to maintain that point presence, thread the needle literally in every sense of the word. And they honestly, No Name just did everything right there on that final stint. They built up a nice ult economy. They pressed their advantage, and then from there, they'd already turned the corner and entered that final room. Which, as so many people will tell you, those chokes, those double doors we just passed through there, it's so easy to get it caught up there, and. No Name just pushed right on through. They had They didn't have to use ultimates to do it. They had them. Bob comes through, provides a lot of zoning presence, prevents a lot of contests from coming out, and they come in with a nice 3.5 minute time bank, which is pretty huge on Rialto.
It's absolutely comfy, absolutely cushy, and coming into what we're seeing from the attackers right now, like I kind of expect Milo to switch this up a little bit, or is Milo going to be going with the Mei?
It's interesting to see. We haven't. I don't believe we've seen Milo on the Mei yet. Definitely a projectile player that's shown some, effectiveness in. I believe played other things besides Pharah, and done well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a proficient Mei out of Milo. I just wonder what the plan is, so to speak. Like, are you going to use the wall to try and seal off the target?
Maybe.
Block off that high ground, maneuver around. Are you going to map edit and use it to get to, cheeky positions? No, they're just going to speed right up to high ground.
I would love to see the map edit. No, yep. I think they pushed up to the high ground with speed. Got to be intimidating. And now we're going to see that Mei wall used to take space in this.
No Name playing this nice and slow too. Like Takeo, getting these kills, Nano getting these kills. I mean, playing it slow there, all that maneuvering from Nanomi was basically useless, because all No Name did was they just walked backwards. Yep. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're on the high ground. Cool, we can still see you from here. It's really, from our positioning, it's really no different. And so I mean, ultimately, that's just cool to see, and almost a tale of two teams right now with No Name. Because that was just very apt play, and really just led to a cleanly won first fight there. No muss, no fuss.
Interesting positioning there from Taco on the Sigma, completely behind the enemy team. As W gets pressed, Nanomi going to be pushing all the way to the next checkpoint as they do find that initial kill, but Taco now caught in a tricky position, completely caught alone behind his team.
That was a crafty play that really didn't pay off for Taco there. It had that angle, no one was really paying attention to him, but the reason Nanomi didn't pay attention to him is because they were just running right on by.
Yeah, they did not pay any attention to him, and that ended up being their doomfall, their downfall. He was able to get a key rock there at the beginning of that engagement. They threw in the bomb and re-engaged and completely destroyed Nanomi, and now Nanomi is caught in what I believe one of the more difficult situations on Rialto, where there's so much space you have to gain just to get to the payload.
Yeah, this is full hole territory right now, and I mean, Taco on the Sigma, I'm just at a loss for words. I mean, those have been two big rocks that have really opened up the fight for his team here in this first stint. Happened on their attack, getting a nice rock on the Pharah, opens up everything. And then from there, I mean, we see what he's doing on defense. Fordo, though, a double Nano Fire Strike. Wow. That's fantastic.
A double Nano Fire Strike, and Nanomi is committing everything to this engagement. Nameless in the back, gonna find nothing with that TNT. So we will see Nanomi take this point. No Name gonna have to try again on the defense around the corner. But as things have started to go, Nanomi not really keeping pace with No Name. No Name was able to capture that courtyard phase fairly quickly.
Yes, so they were, and I think the Nano, Meadle just doing a great job on the Ana, well-timed, Fordo getting value with it. I mean, I just think it was almost like a wake-up call, as it were. for Nanomi, and now the May McCree is working well. They've got the point rolling, and they're really just going to walk right under No Name here, and
Oh
get
wow.
all this real estate for free. I mean, now they're going to have to worry about it on the backside, but they've got a pretty good push with it already.
From No Name before. They've pushed into Nanomi, or sorry, Nanomi has pushed into No Name and disregarded the Sigma on the high ground or the member in the back line, and this is what happens. Everybody dies.
Wow, yeah, that was an impressive defensive hold there, coming out from No Name. I mean, I really thought that they were gonna. I really thought that Nanomi was gonna do an excellent job of just walking underneath, pushing on through, because honestly, that's what happened seemingly the first time on that attack. Takeo, obviously, I should have learned my lesson because Takeo ended up saving the day. But I'm loving these rotations that are coming out.
Likewise, and you can see Nanomi has learned their lesson here, and they're decided to rotate to the high ground, cut off that option for them. Hammer down comes out from Fordo. It doesn't find much as a Gravitic Flux tries to find any members of No Name coming out of that high ground. Nameless, however, is the one finding the first kill onto Baja Blast, and Taco eats the Blizzard! Oh! Taco eats the Blizzard from Milo, and that's absolute it. Nanomi's gonna have to go back to spawn 2 ultimates the weaker.
Wow. So now that's Mag and Taco now with 2 big eats that we've seen in our respective matches. I mean, I think I'm going to be hitting these 2 up for some Sigma tips, because that's just, I never find any success using that specifically to eat ultimates and to get value in that manner. Yeah, it's great at eating damage, but I never can really find that value on eating the ultimates, and here we see huge value coming from it.
So the above ground approach almost worked for them there the first time. So they're gonna commit to it again, using the wall to mitigate the damage. Sound barrier comes out to make sure they have healing, but the damage is still there by No Name. They have everything they need, including a Bob on a box. The Bob on the box is too OP!
Oh no, and I feel so bad. I feel so bad there for Noche too, because Ice boops the Bob off a high ground to save themselves, and then boops it right onto that box. Noche trying to hide, nowhere to go, instantly obliterated. And now this attack for Nanomi, 20 seconds left. It's going to be difficult to even get to the point. They're not going to be able to use their same strat they've been running. They're going to have to make a bit of a mad dash straight there. This might bode in their favor though.
In the moment that you need speed, however, you lose your Lucio in the engaging moments. Supercharger, Transcendence, all in the bag of No Name coming into this fight. Cards stacked against them. Nanomi trying to get this payload to the next position to get a little bit more time on the clock. But with people coming out of the woodwork from every which angle, payload getting just fractions, meters, not even a full meter away from where it needs to be for Nanomi, but No Name has the bodies. Big Shatter comes through for Fordo as he tries to lead his team into victory, but now it's just a Lucio and a May and a Dream and a Cart. Doesn't look like Nanomi's gonna be able to find it. No Name is gonna have the defense.
Wow, and Nano. Great Reinhardt play on that duplicate there. Love to see it. Great counter charge, shutting down a lot of what Fordo was trying to do there. And wow, I'm very impressed. No Name coming out of nowhere. No Name nowhere. Coming out of nowhere and really, tying this series back up in a very convincing fashion. Both of these teams, only 1 loss for each of them, and both of these teams are making some pretty strong statements about their prowess.
You see the very end there, and yet another Reinhardt taking play of the game.
I love it. I love it. Give it always to the Reinhardt. It's better from the glitch we had a while back where Moira was constantly getting the plays of the game. So, it's like if it's constantly
that's
Reinhardt,
hard-earned support play. That's what that
you
is.
pressed Q. Don't deny it. You just pressed Q.
Dude,
Oh, man.
that's my response when I get 3 kills with Brig, too. I'm like, it's hard-earned support play. I'm not just holding M1.
Right. It's
Ooh, we are... But talking about support play, we've seen some pretty stellar support play already from Momo, Little Lamp, Ice, and Metal, I'm sorry, my eyes stopped working for a quick second when the teams swapped sides on me.
That's hard to keep up with. No, I understand entirely. I get it. But yeah, I mean,
Kings
it's one
Row.
of those
Kings
things.
Row is our next map. There's my train of thought. Kings Row is my next
We're
map.
back.
And so maybe the Ryan Zarya, maybe the Ana Lucio, maybe the Ana Baptiste here. What do you think comes out for the support lines going into Kings Row?
Well, anytime you're running Brawl with the Ryan Zarya, any type of brawly comp like that, I really think a Lucio is going to benefit you. I mean, we've seen Ice, with the exception of that last fight getting picked early. Going back to what I said about not uh, it's good. You're doing good on support if your name's not getting called a lot. Ice uh, got the name called out a little there at the end, and not for a very good reason. But Lucio, Ana, they can provide a ton of value here. We've seen Ice and Meadle run that very well. We've seen Fordo do really big things on the Reinhardt. So I mean, it just kind of lends itself that we could see a very nice brawly comp. Maybe see some Reaper in there. I've seen Junkrats have good value when played in the right style here. So I mean, it's really, I just want to see some good brawl. I'd love to see these two teams both load up with the Ryan Zarya, go at it. It's almost like getting as close to goats as we can, but it's Kings Row. I would almost vote to allow goats always on Kings Row because it's Kings Row. I mean, come on.
It's Goats Row. That's
Yeah,
what we know it's supposed to be called. There's a glitch in the game where it says Kings Row, but it's supposed to be Goats Row.
it's
Uh,
true.
I got that from the Secret Vault, and if you don't know what the Secret Vault is, I can't help you.
Well, you see, it's a secret, so
Yeah,
that's how
exactly.
this works.
The Secret Vault. Secret times 2. But Nano Me, no name, anagram names, absolutely loving it. 1-1 now coming into this Kings Row matchup. Not really any surprises on the composition front. We've gone to what has become the tried and true meta. May McCree, Reinhardt, Sigma, on Lucio.
Yeah, I enjoy Maycree, honestly. I know May is a bit of a toxic pick in a lot of people's eyes, but I love the combinations. I really do. I can, you just love seeing good value in anything really in these lineups.
Speaking of good value, we're seeing No Name go for the retreat. They are going to re-engage. They're not giving away the point for free, but they've got to get those respawns back, those members they lost early. Maywall comes out to stop them from getting the point, but Little Lamp able to get there for the contest. Ice and Needle, both supports getting themselves into the kill feed, and what a kill feed it is. Nano Me able to take the first point with ease.
Yeah, Nanome really blazing, speed running through that first point of King's Row. I mean, it's like I predicted, honestly. Fordo on that Reinhardt, getting supplemented by Meadle and Ice on the Ana and Lucio respectively. I mean, that's a recipe for success. And you see Baja Blast really knows how to play the Sigma really well with that Reinhardt, throwing up shields the right way, enabling that Reinhardt to get a ton of value, and then you've got the Mei in there too. I mean, everything is kind of lending itself to value for Fordo there on that.
Fordo really does have to carry his team through this moment as they get frozen and walled off from the rest of the members. Finds the Shatter, finds 3 inside, no shade with the first kill. That's going to allow things for Nano Me to look quite fantastic as yet another wall from Milo opens things up. No Name still not able to grasp a defense here on the streets phase of King's Row.
And we're still continuing to see the value that Ana can provide in almost any comp. For the first time in a while, I think you can really say that Ana's in a pretty strong place as far as the meta's concerned. With the added bonus of these shields, being able to really place those dynamites, break fights open for your team, it's so important. And I mean, good grief, we've got a cap already on the second checkpoint. I mean, almost 6 minutes. That's nasty.
They are flying through King's Row right now, trying to show No Name that they are gonna. So what? We may have lost that first map, but we are not looking to lose another map from there. The Deadeye comes out amongst the aggressive Blizzard as the payload continues to move unhalted. Shatter comes out from JJ as he finds the entirety of Nano Me unawares and gets 2 with the Fire Strike, following up with a 3rd for the kill. The answer back from Needle and the rest of the crew at Nano Me finds them into an advantageous position. Nano Me now continuing to push this payload.
No, this is fantastic. I mean, good grief. I thought No Name had that fight won, and Nanomi just basically goes no and just keeps brute forcing it. I mean, that was a huge shatter from St. JJ and got a ton of value off of it, and it just kind of all for naught. But I mean, if anyone had any reservations, any doubts about Ryan Zarya being replaced by Ryan Sigma, I think this answers it here. I mean, the Ryan Sigma just ran into the Ryan Zarya and, you know, massacred, really.
Yeah, the Sigma allowing the Reinhardt to get a lot of free purchase to get that hammer up in the face of his victims. Gordo, however, going to get taken out by Nameless at the very end, and No Name looking to make a stand at the final moments. 1.17 meters left.
Not a moment too soon, and a huge reason for that is Nameless. Now getting that Deadeye almost online, but Nameless really coming up with some big picks there at the end to secure that fight, and you know, standing right in the middle of the point. I mean, you've got a lone McCree just standing there on top of the point, and you know, no one's really addressing it, and Nameless making them pay for it there.
Nanomi now initiating into their second attempt.
I like this Junkrat pick coming out from a Nano. Now, you know, you can do a lot of damage here at distance. You can shut down a lot of these flanks. You see now, you know, Nano standing right on top, ready to provide all kinds of damage, but Nameless. That looks good.
Smart use of the Deadeye, waiting for the kinetic grasp to be completely exhausted before pulling the trigger. And now, with that McCree Nameless finding that Deadeye, and Nano getting up to 60% to that tire. This is going to be a
fantastic.
Completely different game than what we've seen earlier.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, getting a ton of value, getting that ult charge built up, which is good because there's some big ultimates coming online for the side of Nanomi. So, I mean, you know, that Rip Tire could really be a big difference maker, assuming Nano can get it online. Sound Barrier now coming out from Little Lamp there, keeping the rest of No Name topped up, but Nanomi, Fordo, he's shattered, but he's still got Nano. Ooh. Now he's moving in. Nameless getting a kill onto Milo. Meadle a kill onto Takeo. And a lot, ooh, that's a nice Rip Tire onto Ice. A lot of these kills favoring the attack, but the defense of No Name. Ooh, they've got the Nano Reinhardt, St. JJ, he's swinging now. Takeo coming out on the ball for defense. This is gonna sure it up right here.
Sure it up it is indeed, but they've still got time on the clock. Noche, the rest of them going back to spawn. Still 2 minutes left, and the payload is slowly getting further and further from where it's supposed to wind up.
I mean, that's the perk of coming in to the final stint with almost 6 minutes in the time bank. You know, you get a lot of chances, a lot of cracks at this thing, and that's really what Nanomi. They're just, you know, let's throw it. Let's throw an attempt up on the dartboard, see if it sticks. You know, and they've got the time to do that. They can play with it. They can get all of their ults back online for a final fight. They might not even need them. You know,
oh no, the first 2 kills come through for Nanomi. Now they have the paving that they need to ride this payload straight to victory. The kills continue to fall through, and Nanomi has the sound barrier to make sure that they stay alive on the point, but Nameless's Deadeye has something to say about it, but Baja Blast says no and takes it out of the equation completely. And now, Wrecking Ball on point just for the spin to win stall, but Nanomi going to be able to finish out King's Roll with 1 minute and 14 seconds in the time bank.
Well, Fordo and Milo, both of them, you know, combining for some big kills there at the end to really kind of finalize everything, you know, tie a nice bow, as it were. But, I mean, big props to No Name. I mean, that was 5 minutes, 45 seconds, I believe, was the time bank walking into that. And, you know, you've whittled it down. You'd love to get it underneath a minute. But 1 minute 14, I mean, you've given yourself a chance to stay in this, which not a lot of teams can say that when they're on defense coming into that final stint, looking at a 6-minute time bank for the attackers. I mean, it's hard to give yourself a chance to win that time bank battle. But here we are, no name. They've got an opportunity to stay in this here, possibly come ahead in the series. But man, true to the 1-1 scoreline, this is anyone's match right now.
Yeah, if there's any map that's gonna give us the true litmus test of what these two teams are bringing to the table, this is the map to do it. We saw No Name or Nanomi display a very aggressive playstyle there, which didn't pay out in the end. No Name was able to start dismantling that in the very end of that engagement, but now No Name has to show us what they've got on attack.
3, 2, 1.
I'm enjoying Nanomi, maintaining Fordo and Baja on this Rhine Sigma. I just think there's a ton of value coming out from it. I'm interested to see now that the sides are swapped, how will it hold up with a Rhine Zarya barreling into you this time? You got to do the barreling last time, you were on attack, but how will it fare against a Rhine Zarya?
No, they're gonna go ahead and be aggressive on defense too. They're like, we're not gonna allow you to set up this rotation and get that cooldown. They saw the speed boost used, but the aggression is not gonna be in their favor. Nameless finds 2 there on the disengage. Noche will be able to find themselves a bit of a consolation prize, but as the members of Nanomi fall, there's not going to be any recontest. No Name just gets the point for free.
Yeah, and that's almost faster than Nanomi was able to take it on their attack. And I gotta say, I respect what Nanomi was trying to do there. So many times you see teams, they'll let the attacking team set up, do what they want to do, get the position they want, do all this stuff. And, there's something to be said about defense going, no, we're not even gonna let you set up to show us what you're bringing. We're just going to shut it down before you even had a chance to put it together. It didn't pan out for them, but I respect the mindset behind it. Definitely, it's a winning attitude if you can pull it through, which they just ultimately didn't do there.
The winning attitude, that's what you need. Momo able to find the nano boost onto St. JJ as he flies through and allows Little Lamp to get that first pick. No Name and the rest of the gang able to find the kills they need to push Nanomi all the way back to the second point. If they're able to hold this area now, this payload is going to be, well, actually, this whole fight is going to be quite reminiscent of something we just saw happen.
Yeah, it's deja vu all over again. But man, Fordo was poised for a big earth shatter there, and I'm not sure if it was a sleep or a flashbang. I think it was a flashbang that shut down that ult from Fordo. But either way, that just blew the door wide open for No Name and sent Nanomi reeling.
Oh, they allow Fordo past the shield to get the shatter off, and then sleep him when he gets the nano. Graviton comes out from Taco, and now the kills for No Name continue. Baja Blast taking himself out of the fight there with his own primary fire as Mito tries to delay the clock, the inevitable, just a little bit longer. But there's not much you can do against the high charge Zarya like Taco in your face.
It's very true, and I really get the feeling that No Name is starting to the cracks are starting to form in Nanomi's aggression. They're starting to really punish the gap in between Fordo and the rest of the team. It's good to be aggressive and make space on the Reinhardt, but if you can punish the Reinhardt while the space is being made, then you're going to lead to a seemingly feeding Reinhardt. And I think that's kind of what we saw in that last fight. They really played Fordo like a fiddle, kind of in that whole kind of transgression with the nano and everything.
Oh no!
Wow.
There's no playing like a fiddle for St. JJ as he heads down to say hello to the Omnix below. Little Lamp able to find a beautiful boop there at the very beginning of that, or sorry, Ice able to find a beautiful boop there at the very beginning of this engagement. But 4 minutes, 20 seconds still on the clock for No Name, and Nanomi is in no position to hoist a powerful defense. We're going to see the disengage from No Name, but when they re-engage, it's going to be
that was such a smart disengage too. You knew you had the advantage of your main tank Fordo coming back. You knew you could play it smart. Not really getting a lot of value there from the Nano for Meadle, except maybe just to keep Fordo alive there. You can't risk losing Fordo again. Possibly value from a Fire
Ooh.
Strike, but
They were
it's one
able
of
to
those-
take all value out of the Echo ultimate there, but the Rabbinic Flex comes out from Baja Blast, raising Nameless above heights to find Noche with the Deadeye. That's going to open things up there for No Name. Looking for the Nano boost on the St. JJ as he goes into initiate. He gets shattered along with the rest of the team. Maywa from Milo mitigating the damage with the Graviton from Taco, making it easy for No Name to pile out the damage. But Noche has another Deadeye?
I don't know. I can't believe it. But Noche, answering the thought I was having throughout that whole fight. Both teams were doing such an excellent job of shutting down the other's ults. We do have a pause coming out. Looks like we do have a disconnect from Team No Name. But Noche ultimately doing a really good job of winning the ultimate battle. Every ult was getting blocked, so just getting an ult through. First off, getting it back that fast. I believe Noche used it at the start of the fight. Just getting your ult back that fast and then getting the two with it. That was really what was needed for that hold there. And
I
so
also really want to highlight Fordo on the defense here. After St. JJ relieved that Nano, he was able to peek out of that window, find a 5-man shatter, and kind of delay the fight long enough for Taco to get back with that Graviton. And yes, No Name lost the. I'm sorry. No Name lost the fight there, but they were able to stall things out for long enough that now their respawns are going to be able to have at least one more fight.
that could have easily resulted in stall scenario for the defense, where they're automatically having to switch to stall heroes, start staggering out, start contesting because that payload is knocking right on the final door. But you're right, and great on Fordo to kind of go against the typical notion of every Reinhardt, which is shatter, go in and smack them around, because realizing very low health, needing to get that shatter off, hits the shatter, peeks out, dips back in, waits for the support to come through. Yeah, maybe you could have got some picks out of it, but ultimately Fordo stays alive and is able to continue with the contest. So just great awareness coming out, and using even not getting as much value as you could have from the shatter, but getting enough value to turn the tide of the fight. And that's really props to Fordo there. It was huge.
So everything is 2020 in hindsight. That's what
Oh
my,
yes.
my my father always told me. But looking at these team compositions, looking at the pause that we have right now, No Name, they've have been struggling a little bit with kind of keeping up with the aggression from Nanomi. Um, or sorry, other way around. Nanomi has been a little bit too aggressive, and No Name has been taking advantage of that. Coming into this next engagement, neither team really has. Well, actually, I once again a correction. No Name not gonna have any ultimates. Nanomi, however, is going to have that nano boost, is going to have that blizzard coming into this next defense. That plus the disconnect, how do you see that affecting like what we see in the next engagement?
Well, I would have to say that obviously, if you're the attack right now for No Name, you're not gonna you don't have any ults to use first off, so you're going to have to do this as a very dry run, ult building run. Depending on how good the ult tracking is for Nanomi, this could really be the way that they whittle down this time bank. Because if you've had good ult tracking up to this point, and you're aware of the fact that a Nano is the closest one, if you're only somehow aware that a Nano is the only at 50%, and that's their highest ult right now, then you can be very smart about building up your ults, not using the inclination would be to throw out freeze, nano your Rhine, let him go to work, let him build back his shatter. But now you've got one ult and you just use two, whereas no ults were online uh, for No Name. So ultimately, depending on this will be a good test at how well the ult tracking is for Nanomi, because if the ult tracking's good, then this will really start to snowball the ult economy in their favor.
We're definitely gonna need something in their favor, and in fact, they're gonna go for a complete roster change. Not roster change, I'm sorry, but hero change. There we go. They're not throwing in new players. So they're going to bring out the D.Va, they're going to bring out the Reinhardt, and they're going to bring out a Mei of their own.
And that's a smart time to do it. You're looking at very low ults from everyone altogether. So, yeah, Freeze now coming out though.
Yeah, not gonna find much. Milo, it does get baited out for No Name. That's definitely a plus. They still don't have any more ultimates coming online. They still just have that Nano boost. Playing the corner a little bit gingerly here as they initiate into what is going to be one of our final engagements, unless it's a quick one. The Mei wall coming up. No! Really... There goes the Nano boost from Metal onto Fordo, and Fordo's gonna go absolutely loco. Taking a look so he can watch Momo fall. What a Nano.
Wow. That was, and see that, you know, the freeze was used earlier the fight before to seal up that fight, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. When you know you've got an ult advantage, you know, you can only use that one ult, get a ton of value off it. You know the team, the attacking team's going to be reeling. Ooh, Fordo, he hits a big one, but gets slept.
He gets slept, but he's still the hero of our story. What a shatter, and that is a mistake that we should not be seeing at this level of play. You've got to check your corners.
Check your corners always, and it's King's Row. I mean, I think everyone knows. I mean, I think everyone knows the sneaky spots to hit the shatters too. Like, it's inexcusable.
Nano still having quite a formidable ult bank for this next engagement. The user Gravitic Flux, Deadeye's coming out from both McCree's as Noche gets slept. Noche got slept by Momo in the middle of the Deadeye, but still Nano prevails. You see Little Lamp and Taco taking the quick way out, and one thing we're seeing consistently done well by No Name is recognition of a lost fight.
Absolutely, and that is really this ult difference. That's how they have swung the ult economy back into their favor, because they've been smart on the resets. They haven't been giving away unnecessary ult charge to Nanomi, and now we're looking at only a sound barrier online for Nanomi as their defense. Meanwhile, you've got 4 ults online and St. JJ taking out Fordo early.
Oh, Fordo out. There's nobody to protect them from the St. JJ pressing W into the team. And Nano finds the kill onto Meadle, and that's going to give them a Blizzard and a sound barrier coming into this final fight. 19 seconds left. Nanomeat has to be able to mount a formidable defense if they want any hope of taking home the W. Sound barrier from Little Ant to drive things home. Taco still has a self-destruct if needed. Needle getting the Nano boost online as the self-destruct takes Milo out of the fight. And Nano also finding another kill, and that's 3 for No Name. Nanomi trying to hold on, but it's merely a pipe dream. 0 seconds in overtime. No Name will take it. So Nanomi will get an attack, but No Name isn't going to get any rebuttal. If I'm remembering correctly.
You are correct. It'll only be a minute 14 for the attack for Nanomi, which in typical circumstances, I would say, wow, that's a minute to get a tick. That's rough. That's tough. But I mean, look at the way both of these teams did their attack. Like, I have to say that if either team was in this minute 14 situation, I would give them the advantage.
You don't need the whole point.
No, you just need a tick, and both teams had the full point capped in their first attack in less than a minute 14. So I mean, this is going to be this possibly could be a very quick overtime round, unless something drastically changes for No Name's defense, which we're already seeing a little bit different. Going a little bit, I'd say almost safer healing with Momo on the Moira versus Iana. Yeah, the upside is a little bit there, but you're going to get more consistent, viable heals a lot of time with the Moira. You've got Taco on the D.Va, going to be able to go out for those flanking DPS. These are some good adjustments being made by No Name for their defense here that hopefully might give them what they need to force out a draw. These teams definitely, I could see them drawing. They're 2 very evenly matched teams right now.
Nanomi, however, definitely does not want to settle for a draw. They are going to make a quick engage, a quick attack from around the statue. Using the car to mitigate the shield damage. Fordo now advancing on to the Alderworth Hotel. No Name doing a good job of using the back cubby of the point to keep their members safe. But Fordo finds that initial charge into St. JJ, and with your Reinhardt down, everything comes crippling down, and that's it. 3 kills, 4 kills now for Nano. Not a single member lost. And it's only the Diva and the Lucio left on point as we start to see the delay picks come in, but there's just not enough time. Nano taking it with ease.
Yeah, that was, I mean, all you can say is that the Reinhardt that lost the Rhine fight was ultimately going to lose the map there. And Fordo, wins that first fight, takes out the opposing Reinhardt, and then that's just game over. You've got all this space, you've got all this, unimpeded aggression. And I mean, we're seeing it here. Fordo, pretty good at being aggressive.
Pretty good is one way to put it, but I'd also want to point out, just so we're keeping track, that's now 4 out of 5 play of the games that have been Reinhardt. Not salty, just saying.
I wonder if it's back. Did they switch it from Moira to Reinhardt, or are we getting the main tank bias now for our play of the games? I mean, me personally, I'm not too mad at it. I love seeing a good Reinhardt play, but I bet some of these DPS players might be getting a little salty.
A little bit. But we're going to give them a little bit of time to cool off, allow the teams to kind of go back to the locker rooms, collect their heads, and come back to our next map with a new look at things. But we're allowed the coaches to have a talk with their teams. We're going to grab ourselves a drink of water. So don't go anywhere, but make sure to refill that popcorn because I know that bowl is empty. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our final match of the evening. We are doing the Advanced Division with Team No Name versus Nano, and currently Nano has the lead 2-1. I am Shadow24, and my co-caster tonight is I keep thinking you're over here, man.
Where am I? No one knows.
He's over here. We know where he is. He's right here. Hamwell doing the beautiful analysis tonight.
Gotta do a little dance.
Do a little dance, make a little love. Get down.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Stop there for copyright reasons.
Oh, yep. We're gonna have to bleep that one in chat.
Yeah. Whoopsie daisy.
Bleep it out, chat. It didn't happen.
But we are going to be taking our fight, taking our brawl, taking our battle to the Temple of Anubis, one of the tried and true 2CPs, and in my opinion, the only 2CP map that doesn't always last forever.
It's true. It's true. I'd rank it up there pretty high. I do enjoy Volskaya, but Anubis is a tried and true classic. It's I think it demonstrates a lot of what you're looking for in a 2CP. You've got a lot of good positions for defensive control. But it's hard to make a 2CP balance, but I think Anubis does a relatively good job of it. I think you see, especially on point A, you can see full holds, you can see steamrolls, you can see everything in between.
And it's fun to play. Paris.
I agree. You can run the Pharah, you can run the Widow. Looks like we're gonna see a Widow battle between a Nano and a Noche, which I'm personally looking forward to. Oh, I don't want Nameless to pick the Ashe to help out though. I want a clean Widow battle, which we're not even gonna get to see now. I ruined it. Guys.
Well, I'm gonna blame you. I'm gonna let chat blame you, so I don't get blamed.
That's fair. That's fair. I deserve it. I reap what I sow.
But yeah, we did have a team. We had the side switch, everybody. So Nano is in the blue. No Name is in the red. Nameless getting taken out very early in that engagement. No J here to play. Here to put the final nail in the coffin as he finds both DPS in that initiation.
And Nano might have considered staying on that Widow just based on just the unimpeded, assault Noche was able to provide, and Nano, of course, will go over to the toe, man.
Nano just not able to get the better half.
Just said goodbye. I mean, and that's so hard. I mean, when you're switching to Widow, Noche's already set up. Noche has a relative idea of where you're going to be coming from. I mean, it's just that's a tough sell for your Nano. I expect possibly a little bit more even in the Widow battle here now in the second fight. This kind of loosens things up as your team begins to take this progress, maneuver around. That's an early lamp use. You know, I feel like Little Lamp's going to want that back for the later fight, but a Nano, there we go. Getting in on the kills against Noche.
Finally able to get the better on the opposing Widowmaker, and now up to the high ground as they get pulled down. No Name in for the big fight. There goes the tire from Milo that he was able to build up early as he takes complete control of this fight. The window gets used by Little Lamp, and that's one of those ult usages that I see happen, and my brain just goes, no, keep it, keep it.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, now on the bright side, it is the Baptiste ult. It's still farmed back, even with the changes, it's still farmed back relatively quickly. One could almost argue it's a cooldown. Noche, you know, going back up on the positive side of that Widow battle there. Ooh, gonna keep going. I was gonna say that's gonna, you know, cause a swift reset, but Noche, he had more to say.
And, you know, this is the danger of having a Widowmaker on this kind of site. You know, sites are going to be up, they're going to have wall hacks. There you go, you hear that voice line going out, and because Nano had switched off of the Widowmaker and now back onto it, you don't have that same advantage. So No Name really just has to sit behind this corner for the next 15 seconds. Or
I mean,
10 seconds.
Noche, whether it's from, you know, slowing down this attack here, causing a Nano to switch, you know, onto Widow, off again, then back onto Widow again. I mean, Noche's just doing so much havoc right now on this Widow. I mean, it's, you know, the goal a lot of times in Overwatch is to make the enemy team play around what you're doing, and that's exactly what Noche's doing right now.
Milo, however, getting a little bit too aggressive, found himself in a position that he just didn't have the health to deal with. Great halt to set things up as the tanks for Nano try to escape the onslaught from No Name, but the kills are going to continue to come through from the back line as Little Lamp finds Fordo, and the Nano boost has to get committed from Needle onto Baja Blast. Sigma! Big anti-nade comes through, forcing that Little Lamp out, and Nameless is going to be able to find themselves the Bob, as well as St. J with the Supercharger, but No Name doing a very good job of not actually using these ultimates, because they know they're going to need one big fight here. As the tire comes out, Milo finds one down the Nameless, and now with that Gravitic Flux, Nano-Me is going to be able to run this clock dry. Kills continue to flood through, and No Name, although they have an impressive ult bank, have no time to set anything up.
Yeah, this is going to be frantic. Oh, and they're having to switch so much to lose the ult. I personally think they possibly could have just gone with a single Lucio switch, possibly to get back and contest while still saving your ults, but I mean, ultimately getting back and providing a fight on point is ultimately the key here.
They are going to commit Bob onto the fight. Nano-Me has no ultimates on board. Time not in favor of No Name in this engagement. Neither are the health bars. Nameless just a fraction of health left, but Bob still doing work, able to take two members of Nano-Me out of the fight. There's a resurrect from Ice on a Baja Blast to bring Sigma back into the equation as Fordo has switched on to the Winston for a little bit more mobility. Kills coming through for No Name as St. J finds two, and they could be able to finally take this point in overtime. Looks like they're gonna have the bodies. Nano-Me doesn't have the presence.
And literally not a moment too soon there. Just, you know, sometimes, you know, it's like they say, necessity is the mother of invention, and sometimes desperation is the mother of success, as we saw there. Really no other choice. I was skeptical about giving up all those ults, but ultimately just very well played from No Name to finally get that cap. And now, you know, you're kind of back to square one. Not as big of a time bank as you would like, but you've got a chance to snowball here. Not really a lot of ults to work with, but St. JJ, got to watch out for him with that Earth Shatter coming online here very soon.
Not just going to snowball, but they're going to come in like a wrecking ball. Taco able to find that minefield right onto the point, cutting off such a large area, forcing Nano-Me to deal with that mitigation. Noche, however, finds the kill onto a Nano into the back line as the anti-nade hits Sing JJ and makes it difficult for that Reinhardt to re-engage. He's going to go ahead and run out back onto the point, looking for the kill onto Metal. But meanwhile, Fordo and Ice are wreaking havoc in the back line. Milo finding two. And that's going to be a defense for Nano-Me. No Name going to have to go back to the drawing board. They're not going to be able to bring their momentum with them, and they only have 2 minutes left. They're already in a dire situation.
Milo and Fordo just do a remarkable job. Whatever hero they're playing, they're just doing a remarkable job of staying together and playing well off of each other.
Big
so,
old
I mean,
fat finger there. Accidental ultimate, if you will.
oh dear. You hate to see it.
You do hate to see it, but it happens to everybody. Even up
does.
here, it happens.
It does, and it's kind of refreshing, honestly, because it's happened to me so many times as I've began to learn the daunting task of mouse and keyboard. It's happened to me so many times in my ladders games, so it's good to see I'm not the only one.
Nope, but the only one not making it to this push is going to be a Nano, and the Meteor Strike comes down. Milo being completely destructive on this Doomfist, trying to dilute the attack from No Name, and succeeding, allowing for the rest of his team to find themselves in the kill feed, and Nano Me continuing with this defense is not going to give an inch to No Name.
Yeah, and Fordo doing a great job on the Winston, cleaning up these kills. A bit unorthodox running the Sigma Winston comp, but Fordo just knows when to dive in, get those cleanup on those kills, playing off of the burst damage that Baja Blast is providing, playing off the cleave that Milo's providing, and then all the while Noche's just kind of off to the side, doing their thing, getting those picks, hitting those headshots, and the whole team really just, even in this seemingly unorthodox comp, the whole team just playing really well in unison together.
And now the Nano boosted Milo getting in to find as many kills as possible. Shatter onto the point, finds 4 as the Sigma shield is just a little bit too high, but there is no damage to follow up for No Name. Nameless and Noche both finding themselves a couple of kills. Nano Me tries to hold on to this defense. The kills continue to come through, and that's about all she wrote. They've got the bodies, they have the presence, but the Riptire is there to take Needle out. Now a coalescence coming from downtown. Momo able to help out as well. The bodies on point getting pushed off by Milo as best they can. It looks like No Name not going to be able to keep the bodies they need on the payload.
Yeah, they've made a valiant effort here at the end. But really, I mean, this respawn advantage for the defense, that's just going to provide way too much overwhelming numbers. Ice coming in with that sound barrier there. I mean, this is going to be all the cleanup that Nanomi needs, and the overtime will tick down, and there you have it.
So now Nanomi putting themselves into a wonderful position. We saw one of our previous teams earlier achieve consistently take the defense so that they could see what pace they needed to play at. And not only does Nanomi now know what pace they need to play at and what they need to do to take Anubis, but taking Anubis takes the day. So now they know what their win condition is for everything. No Name now up against a wall has to pull out this win.
And this is so difficult. I mean, it can be done full holding on this first point, but with the level of aggressiveness that Nanomi has shown in the past, it's going to be a tall order. And, you know, it's going to be, you know, you can't really be playing for the draw here. You need to be playing for the win because, I mean, the draw is just, you're just kind of prolonging things. And at the end of the day, you know, you really need to take a tie up this series. You need to stay in this.
So a draw means another game.
Yes.
Time sitting in front of your computer playing.
Yes, and you have to wonder about fatigue coming in, and especially, you know, the longer you're playing, the more both of these teams are figuring each other out, and it becomes a question of which team does that benefit the most. And for a minute there, it really, you know, on Rialto, it really seemed to benefit No Name, but here as of late in King's Road and in Anubis, it's really seemed to benefit Nanomi. Fordo, you know, demonstrating all kinds of versatility on the tank position. His Reinhardt play was starting to get found out a little bit. Ooh, but Caster Curse, St. JJ shutting that down very quick.
You know, I think the players really do enjoy when we help them out like that.
I do. I agree. They love it.
It's a public service that we casters really do enjoy doing, or, you know, providing. But No Name not running with the Widowmaker. Noche on the Widowmaker. So No Name taking a bit of a risk there. They've already been forced all the way back to point by Fordo on this Hammond. They're able to get the D-suit onto Baja Blast, but they've really given up a lot of ground and allowed Nanomi to set up as they want. The kills, however, still coming through for No Name. They're going to set the pace of play. It doesn't matter where they play from.
True, and the Baja Blast and Fordo on the dive doing very much what they needed to do there, creating a lot of space, forcing No Name onto their heels, which allows for a lot of space to be made for Noche to come in and get those picks. But the shield presence from St. JJ and Taco was just a little bit too much there on that fight.
Coming in this next engagement, however, Noche has now been able to do exactly what he was recruited to do. Able to find 2 kills at the very beginning of this fight, and that's going to make it very difficult for No Name to continuously keep this hold unless they can mitigate the damage long enough for this tire coming out from a Nano to get big work. It will get the D-suit onto Baja Blast, but that's really going to be just about it. Momo with the kill as well.
And that really does benefit the defense here too, because Winston's going to be severely hampered in his ability to dive without that D.Va there to matrix and pocket and really provide value. Now on the bright side, Milo and Forlo, they've been getting huge value together. Genji and Winston can work well together, but Forlo's of course going to go down there. And a reset definitely needed on the side of Nanomi.
And Nanomi really having a very difficult time getting it onto the point. They've been able to get the positioning that they want. They've been able to set up their engage the way that they want, but still No Name has been able to use this close quarters combat defensive style of just peppering themselves onto this point to whittle this clock into dangerous territory.
Well, yeah, and it's, I mean, the dive of Nanomi, it seems to be doing exactly what it wants to do. The only problem is they get them locked into that corner and they can't really do much with it. That might change here, though.
Yeah, Nano Blade does come out, but Transcendence from Momo has been saved and is ready. Gravitic Flux coming out in response, but nobody can get out of that small area with a Primal Raging Winston in there. Fordo able to find a few, but Sigma and Orisa still stand. St. JJ and Taco and Little Lamp all alive in this small section, and that's where Baptiste wants to be. Wants to be there keeping his tanks alive, and that's exactly what they'll do. Noche trying to fight it out, but now 47 seconds, and No Name looking to get a full hold here on Temple of Anubis to prove to Nanomi that they can still be in this fight. There goes the tire now. Gonna be able to find out the sound barrier, not gonna allow them to find the kills. Milo getting a kill onto Momo, and now No Name finally dwindling in heroes on the point. They've used the window from Little Lamp, but they have no more ultimates to fight with. Nano finding 2 into the back line, goes the D.Va Bomb to find Little Lamp as well, but No Name still continuing to hold strong to this defense.
And Nano on the Junkrat, I mean, I think that's a big difference maker into why this strat isn't really paying off for Nanomi, is that they're pushing into a Nano in that corner, but I mean, the Junkrat can do so much damage in that proximity that they're forcing with the dive comp. So it begs the question, you know, why continue to dive? Because, you know, you're achieving what you need to do, but you're not getting value from it.
Well, there really looks like they're trying to enable Milo, and Milo once again has the Dragon Blade up and running. He's able to find 2 people before the bulk of the fight begins. And now, off the back of those 2 kills, Nanomi will be able to take this point as long as they can mitigate this pesky Reinhardt. That's going to happen, and in overtime, and with not very much time to spare, Nanomi will be moving on to point 2.
Ooh, but there are some numbers here. Yeah, wait a second.
Looks
Milo
like a surprise, but you know, there's that Dragon Blade.
That's unfortunate, though, that they had to commit it just to get the attack. That eliminates a lot of their snowball ability. So that was definitely a worthwhile contest coming out from No Name, because I mean that blade did have the potential to really set up the snowball, as mentioned. So I mean, good job from No Name.
Never a bad.
Yeah, exactly. Now you've got Nameless with the Bob coming online. That's gonna be a further deterrent from a snowball here, and that's really well played and well maneuvered there by No Name. They're setting themselves up to draw on this map, despite you know succumbing basically to the draw.
Oh, there goes the Bob coming out from Nameless before getting taken out of the fight by Milo, the 1-for-1. But Taco gonna take Fordo out, and now it's no Reinhardt. Nanomi's in a tricky situation. 2 minutes, 10 seconds for them to take this point in the first attack. Not necessarily a sloppy engagement, but nothing went the way that they planned on it going.
That's very true, and you know, at the end of the day, that is all right. You've got a chance to build up some more ults. You know, you do have already the Coalescence online for Meadle and Nanomi. You've got a self-destruct from Baja Blast online here soon. You did have some DPS switch-ups. It's going to be a lot more brawly on the point, but, you know, you do need to build those ults up, give them time.
Oh, wow.
Meanwhile, look for Takeo to hit a big shatter here.
Yeah, they knew exactly where the supports were in the back, so they just kind of speed boosted over that rock to get back into that backline. Displace those healers, that sniper. Send that self-destruct back there, and they're going to find a few as well. And Nano, however, getting 3 in the course of 2 mines at a time.
Yeah, Nano really with the Junkrat, putting No Name on his back right now, trying to ensure this draw. You know, they're not out of the woods yet. Reaper can sustain himself and do a lot of damage, especially with that Lucio there, but Nano and Little Amp finally putting an end to that. And I mean, just great stuff from a Nano, great stuff from Little Amp. I mean, the support presence has been really great. The Transcendence from Momo, they've been timely. I mean, just, you know, a lot of great stuff on this defense. And, you know, really just underlying that these teams are very, very evenly matched and that we're seeing this back and forth of momentum, basically, where one team looks to be dominant and then another team will, you know, the other team will rise to the occasion, and back and forth it goes. To the point to where, you know, even with this draw, you know, we could potentially, you know, get into some 3-2 territory, especially with this draw, I should say.
Little F has that Immortality Field, has that window. St. JJ has that supercharger for this next engagement. No Name very well equipped to hold on to this point. They're going to commit everything at the very beginning so that they can end this fight as quickly as possible to deter the overtime at all. And that's going to be easy when Nameless kills everybody.
Ooh. That was so perfectly played.
Nameless, I'm
No Name there.
speechless.
Speechless, Nameless, No Name. It's all just going together at this point.
What a play there at the end. No doubt going to be our play of the game.
Thank goodness we'll get to see it again.
I want to see it from Bob's perspective, though. I want to see what he sees. Oh!
Ooh,
the
that was clean.
shot on Minoche gets into the back line and just boom, Shaka Khan able to find themselves everything they need. What a play.
And I'll tell you, I enjoy that. That's why I switched from console to PC. You know, those are the types of plays we're able to see over here on PC. Such prowess with aiming and with mechanics. I mean, you love to see it. And I mean, shoo, Nameless just making, you know, despite the tag, making a name for themselves right now. And you know, that Ashe looking spicy indeed.
Spicy indeed it is. And you know, what a feat right there for No Name to break this out with a draw. Our next map, because we're not cutting corners, we are getting straight into it. Is going to be Nepal. You know, this once again can be the deciding factor, but I believe at this point we have 5 maps in total in our pool. So if No Name is able to win this one, they'll force us to a tiebreaker map as well. Yeah, Nepal there as the 5th one. But Nanomi really in a very good position. If they can do what they did on Oasis, then they can walk home with the W.
Yeah, and that's what's very important to remember here is that Nanomi, with their aggressive style, with their cohesion of play, they are very much suited for these control King of the Hill style maps. We saw it, you know, prime example on Oasis, just looking very dominant. You know, requiring No Name to bounce back in map 2, and so, you know, going into a control map, that could be kind of telling, honestly, is you know, the aggressiveness of Nanomi really being the deciding factor, and it's going to be up to No Name to answer that, to mitigate it, and ultimately to provide, you know, just a little bit of aggressiveness on their own.
Well, this is a very stressful moment for both of these teams, so we're going to allow them to collect their thoughts real quick. We will be right back after this short break, ladies and gentlemen. But don't go anywhere as we come back with what could be the final match versus Team No Name and Nanomi. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the main event, the epitome of everything that has been happening tonight here at ELO Hell. Nano Me versus Team No Name in our advanced matchup tonight. We are going to Nepal, our 5th map. Nano Me has 2 in the bank. No Name has been able to get 1 point for themselves, as well as force out a draw on our previous map, Temple of Anubis. And Hamwell, we've seen Nepal play earlier today from the beginner division. Now we're going to get to see it from the advanced perspective.
Yep. As we've seen, it's going to probably lead to more cleaner fights. I do have to kind of tip the advantage to the side of Nanami. You know, they did win our first control map, but that being said, No Name, they've got some big momentum right now. They did an excellent job forcing that draw on Anubis, keeping themselves in this match, which, you know, sometimes that's all you need to do for a map. So you know, it's one of those things where No Name does have the momentum, despite Nanomi being a little bit more proficient, it would seem, on the control map, that style of aggression. So I think this leads to a real barn burner of a map 5 for us to decide the winner.
I just want to see environmental kills. I want to see the creative environmental kills, not just, oh, hi, I'm Lucio, boop. I want to see the Wrecking Ball. I want to see the Brig Flail. I want to see the Roadhog hook into the Abyss. I want all the environmental kills.
Honestly, one of the coolest combos I think I've ever seen was using the Ilios Well with an Orisa halt into a Lucio Boop. It's like, yeah, the Lucio Boop's not very original, but you throw a really cool looking halt into it, like a nice high halt, and then boop over into the drink or the hole or
It gets
wherever you're
cooler by
wherever
association. I'll give it that.
whatever you want to do. It's funny because you know Lucio Boop's unoriginal. Orisa playing Orisa on main tank, it's considered uninspired. But you combine the two and you get some pretty cool value out of it. So
This is
it'd be
true.
interesting to see. But environmental kills, I'd love to see it. It's like you said, the Wrecking Ball can provide a ton of value, a ton of mobility. There's a lot of times where Wrecking Ball can literally just exist, and you're gonna get value from it.
Ready for battle.
Well, we're not going to see the Wrecking Ball, or at least not the environmental kills in our first map.
No.
Sadly.
They'd have to be
definitely going to
very
be seeing
creative.
fireworks and explosions. Milo on the Pharah, a Nano over on the Echo. We'll see who's the real queen of the skies.
And Milo on that far is something to watch out for. We saw that, I believe, Milo was on Pharmacy almost exclusively for map 1 on the first control map, and it was oppressive to say the least. So I'll be interested to see if there's any sort of answer coming inbound from Nameless specifically. That's who you have to look at here. Taco, obviously, on the D.Va is going to look to provide some pressure, but a lot of the bulk of this Pharmacy killing is going to fall to Nameless.
Early Sleep Dart goes out onto Baja Blast, leaving Fordo alone. And that's the last thing that a diving Winston wants. That's going to take Fordo out of the fight completely, and without a main tank, No Name going to have the open door onto the point.
Yeah, and they're just going to open that door, walk right on through, and with very little bloodshed, go ahead and take control of the point. And honestly, now they've set up position. Now the opposing team is diving, having to dive into an entrenched position. But Milo, doesn't matter to him, going to pick off Nameless.
Yeah, he's going to be able to find the first pick in that fight. And beautiful job coming back from the respawn by Fordo to get in there, take attention, and allow his Pharah to get the kills and continuing to do so, but finding kills on his own. And what a boop! Taco getting taken off the side there as Milo cleans up St. JJ in the alley. That's easy there. Nanomi now back with point control. No Name having to come in for the attack.
That was honestly just phenomenal play coming out there from Nanomi, doing an excellent job understanding the win condition. Fordo did an excellent job, as you said, on that Winston, getting a ton of value.
Speaking of value, Miles going to take the Ana out of the fight immediately. Momo gets taken down, but Meadle, a quick response from St. JJ. However, the kills for Nanomi continue to flood in as No Name just cannot stabilize on the point for the retake. They're going to have to retreat, go back to spawn, and go back to the drawing board.
Absolutely, yeah, and I've looks like I've lost video here for a second. I'll try to get that going back again, but firm control, being established by Nanomi, looking very strong right now.
So now No Name As they're approaching back in, they will have the Echo ultimate as well as the sound barrier. Nanomi with the barrage, Primal Rage, and Nano Boost, but Baja Blast getting taken down very early as well as Metal, and a big defense matrix to take Milo's barrage completely out of the equation and put Taco's self-destruct now onto the board. With this new momentum, No Name is able to find the kills that they need now in a 3v6 on the point. No, a 6v0 on the point. We'll be able to take that back, but 83% currently built up. A lot of ult percentage on a point. Or control percentage on the point.
Yeah, that was an excellent contest to ultimately get everything going again. Obviously, excellent job by No Name, able to get that switch before 99%. That's going to allow possibly a little bit more than one fight territory, but that's what you love to see. And in the meantime, now No Name gets a chance to try their hand at it all and go from there.
And at 47%, they have 3 ultimates online. They're going to commit both the Echo as well as the self-destruct. The self-destruct falling on a rooftop and not where it was intended. The Primal Rage from the Echo is able to come out, but St. JJ with his own actual Primal Rage is going to be the one finding the kills. And No Name is just completely controlling this fight. With 2 ultimates left, they still have Momo's Coalescence on the defense as well as the sound barrier, and they will soon have Nameless's Molten Core. Nanomi, however, coming in with a barrage, with the pulse bomb and the self-destruct, as well as Metal's Nano Boost. Both teams very well equipped for this next engagement. Momo now using that Coalescence to stave off Nanomi as they dive into the back line. There goes the self-destruct bouncing off the rooftop and finding the Torbjorn in the back line. The Molten Core no longer on the table. The Baja Blast has it. Milo able to get the barrage onto St. J. Taco able to Taco eats the pulse bomb! Oh, Taco about to play! Eats the pulse bomb, follows through, and helps No Name take the point back.
That was absolutely huge. I mean, Taco, pretty sure had a nice eat on the Sigma earlier. I think that was Taco. I mean, Taco just eating everything. It's Taco Tuesday up in here.
That it is, but it's Friday. But I'm not going to hold that one against you. Little Lamp gets that little boot kill at the very end.
Wow.
So what an engagement. No Name not going to be going down without a fight.
That was a complete reversal of fortune. And wow, if you're No Name right now, you're riding high. You're getting flashes of the Outlaws.
Adrenaline,
if anyone noticed Steidl's jersey he's got on. You're getting flashes of the Outlaws here. These long round matches, which I love to see. We had a 3-0 in our beginner match, so I'm glad to see some drawn out fights here in the advanced division. And shoo, talk about momentum. No Name's got it.
Well, coming in this next match, that's what they're going to need. They're not going to change much about their composition at all, but we are going to see Milo give in. The defense matrix was there for the Pharah. The McCree was there for the Pharah. Going to be switching over to the Mei. Going to help them in this first engagement, mitigate a little bit of danger from St. JJ's very aggressive charge at the beginning of the engagement. Nanomi taking the high ground, No Name already taking down to the point as it unlocks in 3 seconds. Baja Blast able to find the opening kill onto Little Lamp, and that's going to allow for Nanomi to flood onto the point, using that Mei wall to seclude St. JJ and secure the kill. Fordo as well finding himself a kill onto Nameless, and now Nanomi looking a little bit more like the calm, collected team we saw in Oasis.
Very true, and I mean, they had to fight in there. The initial point control was in the favor of No Name, but an excellent wall from Milo there. Baja Blast getting a lot of cleanup on the Sigma. Fordo getting his hammer in on the mix as well. But all that was set up by a really nice wall and just really good patience coming out from Team Nanomi.
Patience is the name of the game and a virtue. Fordo able to find an opening kill onto Taco, and it's very difficult to continue to push when you lose members like that. Momo has that Coalescence, but Nanomi's so much better ult economy.
And that was huge. Breaking St. JJ's barrier there at the end of that fight was Nanomi, and that really kind of slowed down a reset.
Oh no, the Gravitic Flux as they try to come out of the alley or the doorway is going to allow that Jedi to find its mark. There's another couple of kills for Nanomi, and No Name seems to have no answer for what Nanomi is bringing to the table.
That might have been a bit of an overcommittal on the ultimates from Nanomi, but that being said, I mean, you've got a sound barrier online. Fordo's demonstrated what he can do with just the shatter, so I mean, you know, you're still sitting pretty, you're still looking good. You might not needed to invest in the Nano at the end.
It could have happened.
And there goes St. JJ. He's got the shatter at the ready, but squeaking it through the crack in the wall. Able to find a few there. Meadle as well with that anti-nade, finding Momo now 2 down. No Name trying for what could be last criteria. They're able to freeze off Baja Blast as Milo takes St. JJ out of the fight as well. Nanomi with 3 people on the point versus No Name's 2. The self-destruct gets getting walled off by Milo as he finds Taco. And that's going to make it easy for Nanomi to continue to hold the point. And the boop at the end on Momo to secure it.
Oh, that was nasty. That was nasty coming out from Nanomi. They really just, they weathered the storm, and then they used appropriate ultimates. They had excellent positioning, dodging the self-destruct. I mean, just a lot of very lucky things coming together for Nanomi, and inversely for Side of No Name, just some very unlucky turns of events there. But a lot of that really just being instigated by Milo on that May. And Milo, I mean, that's a name we keep mentioning so far this series. I mean, whether it be on the Pharah, whether it be on the May, Milo gets value as we're continuing to see.
Here we go into what could be the last and final map. Nanomi looking to secure their win here, and No Name looking to push us to a tie-breaking map.
My heart is set on us going to a tiebreaker map, but Nanomi, they're in a good position to not allow that to happen.
Ooh, Nanomi in a good position, but so is Little Lamp. Little Lamp waiting for the members of Nanomi to step out of these doors to try and get a cheeky environmental kill. Nanomi not fighting at all. Little Lamp, however, able to find the kills onto both Fordo and Milo, and No Name taking surprising control of this first fight.
Well, Little Lamb didn't get the environmental kill like Ice did, but got a nice little double kill for themselves there, and really did a good job of cleaning everything up and doing a great, you know, just doing exactly what you need your support to do. Be aggressive when it's necessary, but you know, play it cool. Don't put yourself in too compromising a position. And Little Lamp, it's a bit looking a bit.
No.
Oh, no.
Momo, what happened? Momo took a bit of a trip there. Taco's gonna be like, you know what? One of ours went voluntarily. One of yours goes involuntarily. Looks like Little Lamp now on to the point as Nanomi begins this contest. Taco doing a very good job on this Hammond of keeping Nanomi busy as he continually disrupts their backline. Ice now trying to mitigate it and trying to get away from that Hammond, but not going to be able to escape as No Name continues to have this hold on this point.
Wow, and I really thought that was about to turn the direction of Nanomi there, but I mean, Little Lamp doing a great job on Lucio. You know, just great synergy right now that we're seeing from No Name, and this is probably one of the most coordinated we've seen them look all series, and it's exactly when they need to be. They've really woken up as the series went on.
Oh man, and Nano not allowing anyone to see any glimmer of mercy, just massacring through here, and No Name at 83% may very well be pushing us to another map here tonight.
We do have Noche going over to the Tracer here, obviously going to be trying to get a quick contest, having to take a bit of a wide creative flank on it though. So Nanomi's going to be cutting it real close to get some point presence on.
Oh, Momo now getting Milo into the back line. They're trying to, Nanomi is trying to find some sort of semblance of a defense, some sort of way to pick this point back, but they're not going to be able to do it. No Name is going to be pushing us to another map. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to a tiebreaker map. It is a 2-2. We have played 5 maps tonight, and we are going to a 6th.
Oh, look, we've got a support Pog, and it's Moira!
You know what? I'll take it. It's not a Reinhardt.
It is not a Reinhardt. It's not an Ashe either. That seems what it's been.
This also makes up for walking off the map.
Right. You know, you walk off the map, but you get Pog, you know? I know a few players that would happily take that trade any day. You know, just a little extra face time.
Speaking of FaceTime, welcome back to our beautiful faces. But we're not going to spend too long here talking about what happened because we are eager to see how this ends up. So we're going to be going straight on into Lijiang Tower. No swaps. Nanome's still going to be in the blue. Team No Name still going to be in the red as we go into Lijiang Tower. And, you know, 6 maps. I didn't think it was going to go this far. And like we had 4 and 5 or 4 to 3 there on King's Row. So we've even got to see that map multiple times.
It's true,
These
yeah.
guys are giving me an early Christmas present. It's nice.
It's intense, and I'll tell you, it's draining for me to watch. I can just imagine what these players are going through. I mean, this has been an absolute knockdown drag out. I mean, just phenomenal to watch, but man, you got to wonder if fatigue's going to be setting in for either of these teams, and if that could, you know, become to be a difference, you know,
Maker essentially.
longer scrims. Are they prepared for this?
Does the Pharah come back out on Lijiang Tower?
If we're looking here at Night Market, I could imagine so. I could expect to see, you know, a Pharah Widow could be really cool.
Pharah Widow would be absolutely fantastic. I'd like to see the Pharah Ashe as well.
Ready for battle.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be very cool.
Be a bit of an interesting composition, but this is where, and I was thinking about talking about this just a second ago, but I didn't get there in time. But the Symmetras now coming out. Some teams use it just as a way to get out of the spawn ship, but it can also be a great way to kind of just bypass going through main choke, just going straight up and out through that window. And I think we're going to see that from No Name as well as Nano.
Round 1. Capture.
I do like the sim strats, especially on Lijiang. There's a lot of great viability, whether you're on here on Night Market, whether you're in Gardens, just a lot of variability. I mean, getting to the point fast is often the name of the game.
Getting to the point fast is the name of the game, but the purpose of the game is to stay alive long. That's not what's happening for Nano. No Name able to take the kills right out of their hands in a very quick take on the first point here on Lijiang Tower.
I'm very much getting the feeling that No Name has smelled the blood in the water, and they're going to be a tough team to beat here on this final map. And you know, coming from 2-1, you know, hanging on by a thread, getting the draw, turning it around, tying it up 2-2. I mean, it'd be quite the comeback story, and they're in pretty prime position to do it right now.
Everybody loves a good underdog tale. However, both of these teams tied at 3-1, looking to come out on top. There goes the window, and what a fire strike from St. JJ, lining up too, and No Name finding their stride here on the control points at the end of our day. It seems like nothing can stop them.
It really does. I mean, Taco on the Diva seems to be everywhere all at the same time. The support line has really, both Momo and Little Lamp, they've both just kind of really secured their back line. There's not as much pressure on them coming in from Milo and Noche, and I feel like a lot of that is attributed to their own positioning. So, I mean, it's just really cool to see kind of the reversal of fortune at play here.
Noche, speaking of reversal, able to find the opening kill, but a great May wall coming in from Nano is going to allow for No Name to once again turn the tables in their favor. Nano not able to find themselves onto the point. 70% in counting, and the aggression from No Name is starting to come out in spades.
Yeah, and I feel like fatigue could be a factor. I mean, we're seeing a bit of a deflation of the wind in the sails for Nanomi. This aggression that they've been showing so far all series, it's nowhere to be seen right now, nowhere to be found. And, they're going to need to, muscle this up real quick if they're going to stay in this series and take the win.
Oh, coming into that next engagement, you needed to keep everybody alive while using your ultimates. They lose Noche and Metal at the beginning of the fight. Now, No Name in a very good position to take the point and end the day with this win. They're going to be able to take out yet another member of Shatter into the Lucio just offside the point, uses the sound barrier to keep himself alive, but Ice, really, it's a matter of time until this overtime ticker ticks down. Lucio continuing to meddle into the back lines. Taco finds Noche at the very end. Little Lamp able to find Metal and Ice, finally falling to Momo. And that's going to allow No Name to go into this next map of Lijiang Tower on a win streak. Heads held high and a possible comeback in the future. They just have to win the next point. That's all they have to do. That's it.
I'm smelling the comeback. The smell is in the air, and I mean I'll be interested to see if the Sombra comes or the Symmetra comes back out on Gardens. It has some nice viability here. It really looked like No Name was winning that Symmetra battle. I keep wanting to say Sombra. It's because Nameless is in fact on the Sombra at the moment. So I think it's just Nameless is giving a name into my brain, basically, is what seems to be happening. But a Nano reprising that Echo role, something we've seen a lot. Definitely a source of great DPS coming in for No Name. Milo back on that Pharah with the pharmacy from Ice. Another battle of aerial superiority at stake here on Lijiang Gardens.
Nano definitely going to a more comfortable composition. So Nano going to be finding the early pick onto Metal, and now Nano losing so much healing. They send their Mercy back for the res. The Winston is there for the pounce, and the entire composition crumbles. Team No Name able to find themselves with the first take yet again. They have the ult advantage yet again, and they're in the position to drive this home.
And this Sombra from Nameless is going to prove, I feel like it's going to prove very problematic for the entire group of Nanomi. So much of this, style, this dive style is contingent upon, having your heroes ready to use their abilities, ready to pop those cooldowns. And, Sombra just puts a big old wrench into all of that.
Speaking of putting a big old wrench into it, Noche falling early in that fight is not what they want. They've been trying to set up that Widowmaker in some sort of fashion to get value, but just haven't been able to find the angle. Now Fordo and Baja Blast going down early in this fight means another uphill battle for Nanomi.
And this is a battle they're not winning at the moment. I mean, these picks just coming in left and right, even with the res. Ice having to give it up, and ultimately Fordo does get out, thankfully. That could have been a much bigger feed than it was, but Nanomi, they've got to figure something out and fast, because the wheels have come off.
It seems like they're kind of just going and going and going, and there's not much adaptation this round, and that can be the death of a team.
So true.
Stubbornness to switch your composition up. Coalescence from Momo comes out now, and it's 70% with 5 ultimates on board. No Name looks like they're more than just a good spot. They're in the best place they could be. Able to find the kills now onto Noche as the self-destruct pushes Baja Blast out of the mech. No Name still has 3 ultimates on board, and they're able to find the kills. Fordo very low on that Primal Raging Winston, one of the last few members of Nanomi that's able to get to the point here.
I can't help but think fatigue has played a big factor here in this last map. No Name looking fresh, and Nanomi looking a little bit haggard, worse for wear.
Well, worse for wear, but definitely played their hearts out today. No Name gonna be able to take this win here on Lijiang Tower, a 6-map series. Definitely not a case of Nanomi losing the match, but definitely a case of Team No Name winning it.
They definitely rose to the occasion here as the series kind of continued on. And it happens a lot of the time, a lot of times this game of Overwatch, it can be won simply by weathering the storm, letting the other team kind of tire themselves out, so to speak. And I feel like we might have saw a good bit of that here today with No Name, because they just, as the match continued to go on, they looked a little bit stronger. They looked a little bit more together, a little bit more coordinated. I mean, it just all kind of lent itself to a really phenomenal showing from both teams, but No Name bringing it together when it really mattered and taking the series.
Yes, huge congratulations to both No Name and Nano meet just for coming out and giving your all. But of course, as a little bit of a more special congratulations to No Name because they won, and that's what you're supposed to do here at ELO Hell GGNA. That was our advanced division matchup. That was Team No Name and Nano Me, and I'm super happy that that just happened. If you had to pick a favorite moment in that, or a favorite map that you got to watch of today's matchup, what would you choose and why?
It's tough. Obviously the advanced division's a little bit more prevalent in my mind at the moment, but I really enjoyed the King's Row that came out between No Name and Nanami.
Okay.
I thought that was just a really fun map. I thought we saw a lot of varied looks, but it's hard to pick. This whole series here was just a lot of fun to cast. It was a lot of fun to watch. A whirlwind of activities. You saw DPS on both sides popping off. Nameless looking great for No Name. There's so much to unpack here that I could almost do a whole podcast just on those two matches.
Cool. Guys, right below his name, he has a Twitter. You can pay attention to that Twitter to figure out when he's gonna make that podcast. So no, oh darn. I was trying to get you a little extra.
I don't have the proficiency. I have to let someone else do all the production. I just say the words. Putting any of that other stuff together, it's not me.
Only.
If only.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us tonight here at ELO Hell. I have been Stidle24, your play-by-play caster, and joining me for this evening, got it right this time, is Hamwell, your color caster, doing all this great analysis. And from everybody here at ELO Hell, including the back end and production, stay safe, don't be toxic, and have a great evening.